Oh, welcome to Let's Talk. I'm your host, Denise Rollard Barnes, and publisher of the Washington Informer. And all I can say is, Chevry reminded us earlier, it's Friday. But anyway, thank you so very much for joining us. I hope you're having an amazing summer. We're winding down and about to start preparations for back to school. National Night Out is next week, coming up on Tuesday, August the 4th. That's National Night Out. And all across the DMV, groups are beginning to distribute school supplies. So there's a lot going on during the month of October. August, we think this is the time to wind down, but it looks like we're gearing up for a very busy end of the year. I hope your students have set aside reading time. And in fact, I want to invite you tomorrow, this Saturday, when the Washington Informer will join some amazing authors and vendors at the Black Books Matter Fest, hosted by Mahogany Books at the National Harbor. Tomorrow, again, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. So please come on by. We're going to have a tent set up there. We're looking forward to meeting you and to talking to the people who like to read and enjoy books. So drop by our tent and say hello. And if you bring your children, have them tell us what they've been reading this summer. This will be an amazing event, and I really hope to see you there. Today, we'll be welcoming Tracy Childs McGee, Project Director, speaking of reading, of Unerased Black Women Speak, for an update on the Power Read 25. Presented by Unerased Black Women Speak, Power Read 25 is a public reading initiative that invites communities to discover, discuss, and celebrate biographies by Black women whose lives have shaped our world. Hope you'll listen to this interview and you will see how this initiative came about and why we're joining the Washington Informer is joining the celebration honoring Black women authors. We're also excited to have Scott Kratz, President, Chief Executive Officer of Building Bridges Across the River. This nonprofit organization is dedicated to creating equitable opportunities east of the Anacostia River, which is separated, as many of you all know, by several bridges. But Building Bridges has been busy coordinating programs that residents across both sides of the Anacostia River can participate, but also building bridges, these communities that benefit communities everywhere. So not just east of the river, not just west of the river, but there are events that anybody in the city, even those of you all who are in what we call Ward 9, come on over. And there's a lot that Building Bridges is doing, and we're going to talk to Scott Kratz about that. And our final guest today, as we head into National Wellness Month, is Sharon Goods, founder and executive director of the Wisdom Walkers, an organization that is helping people discover what's possible through exercise, preparation, and purpose. The Wisdom Walkers believe every step walked can improve health, and I hope so, because I did about 2,500 steps this morning. Or maybe it was more than that. It was 2,500. I don't know, whatever it was, but it was a lot of steps I took this morning down at Anacostia Park, Scott, when we talk about that. But to expand confidence and also open doors to life's adventures. Before we begin, I want to remind you, as always, to pick up a copy of this week's edition of the Washington Informer. You can pick the paper up. We're still printing. Did I bring my newspaper? Oh, yes, I did. Okay. You can, of course, I always like to show. Someone was in the office today. They said, do you all still print newspapers? Yes, we are. We're still printing newspapers. So you can pick up a copy of the Informer at a newsstand near you. But you can also read the digital edition by visiting WashingtonInformer.com. And while there, we want you to click the subscribe button and become a digital subscriber so you never miss the stories that matter most to our community, and also other information, deals and offers, all kinds of things we share with our readers. We don't want you to miss out. So make sure that you go to the website and sign up. And if you're enjoying today's program, please share this broadcast with your family and friends on social media. You can follow us, the Washington Informer, on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube. There might be a couple more I didn't mention. But we certainly do want you to become or to follow us, become a member of the Informer family. And don't forget to subscribe to our Informer YouTube channel. So, before we get started, I want to share a really brief story with you. It was really great. This week, we received a call, or yesterday, as a matter of fact, a call from a woman. She sounded possibly like an elderly lady that lives in Upper Northwest here in DC. And she was looking for a Washington Informer delivery location near her neighborhood. And luckily, we found one, the Chevy Chase Library. And yes, we deliver to libraries all across the city and in Prince George's County. So when we told her it was at the Chevy Chase Library, she was really, really happy. And she said she told me that she appreciates reading The Informer because of our focus on Black history. And her plan is to get copies to share with the children who attend schools in her area so that they can learn more about the city, more about Black history, and to give them something to do other than scrolling their phones. And so, needless to say, I was delighted and inspired by our conversation. She seemed so warm and just appreciative of the work that we do here at The Informer. And that is how we at the Informer also seek to build bridges across the DMV with news and information that educates, informs, and inspires. So yes, you can get the printed edition of the Informer at a newsstand near you, again, or sign up to receive the Informer online and share it with as many people as you can, especially younger people. We know we have an older readership in print and actually online. But actually, someone left here a few minutes ago that with a couple of copies that they want to share with their children. So we're gearing up for the next generation. Maybe they don't want to read newspapers. Who knows? They may. And either way, they can access the Washington Informer. So we want to thank you in advance for helping us to reach new audiences. All right, let's get started. Please join me in welcoming our first guest, Unerased Power Read, Tracy McGee, Project Director of Power Read. Tracy, how are you?
I'm doing great. It's good to be here. Thank you, Denise.
Oh no, my pleasure. You know, I was so excited when Gwen McKinney, founder of Black Women Unerased, called me several months ago, so upset about, which I want you to talk about, the idea that originated this Power Read initiative. And I know it's reached a milestone, and there's a lot that's happening. But give us some background about how Power Read came to be.
Well, I'm on the mailing list for NEA, National Endowment of the Arts, and I saw this initiative for 250 celebration, the celebration for the Declaration of Independence, and they were providing a list of books to commemorate this that they wanted communities to get behind through various ways. And so I looked down the list, and of course, I was looking for some of my favorite authors, and there were some authors that I knew and admired, but there were no authors that were Black women. And I thought, how could this be? How could you have a list of 24 books, and none of the authors of those books were Black women? Um, we had been doing a campaign for Unerased all year called Writing Our Story and Writing Our History. And it came up in conversation that this list had omitted Black women. And Gwen got really fired up, let me tell you. And the next thing I knew, we were planning an initiative to surface 25 books that could be activated through the community ourselves. It wasn't this concept of a protest, it was this concept of we want to choose our own books and get our community around those books, and for it to actually open up a conversation of what other books that might be part of the list. But we definitely, that you can tell by the title of the organization, Unerased Black Women Speak, that this is exactly what this organization is designed to do through content and amplifying the stories, some untold, of Black women.
Well, I know that we've had Gwen on the show before. We talked a little bit, actually, how Black Women Unerased came about, and it seems as though it's always been a response to ignoring Black women and the role that Black women play. I mean, this happened with the couple years ago when we were talking about the passage of the I think it was the voting rights for women and the role that Black women played in that initiative, but how our stories aren't told. So with this initiative, the community got involved, right? And actually recommended some of those books. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So we wanted to make sure that we didn't simply choose the list ourselves. We brought together a committee, an advisory committee, to help us select the list, and we also gave the community an opportunity to weigh in and combine with this amazing group um, for the advisory committee and the community, and Gwen and I as curators, we came up with this absolutely powerful list.
I We're looking now at the list or the books that were included. You want to tell us about a few of them, or there's some authors you want to highlight that some we may recognize and some we don't. Stories we may recognize and some we don't. So share that with us.
Well, one is so hard to hold all 25 of these books in my head because they're all fantastic and they were all chosen for various reasons. But one that comes to mind for me is Queen Mother Audley. The title is Queen Mother: Black Nationalism, Reparations, and the Untold Story of Audley Moore. And she devoted decades of her life on issues dealing with Pan Africanism, Black nationalism, and reparations. Yet she is barely mentioned in conversations anymore. But she inspired a lot of activists. I was particularly amazed at Ashley's ability to create this really compelling full story when the archives were very thin. There was one picture, this picture here that we have, and it has all of these, what we would call artifacts, surrounding her. Many of them are thought to have been burned or lost in a fire, or just people may have taken certain things. Um, Yet, even looking at this picture, Ashley was able to come up with such a rich story, and of course, go beyond the picture into the things that she was able to find. And that's what a great biographer does. Essentially, it's not just the subjects that we want to bring attention to; it's the authors as well, the
Right.
biographer. So, so there we go. We have
Yeah.
There's another one. I didn't know um, anything about Sylvia Moy, who was behind many of Stevie Wonder's songs at Motown as a songwriter. Um, Erica Armstrong Dunbar offers a unique way to discuss Harriet Tubman. So it's not just that, it's not, this list is not just for you to merely find someone you didn't know, because once you read these stories, you're going to find out something about even the ones you think you know about. There's going to be a surprise. There's going to be more depth into the times and the conditions that they found them in that you may not know by just seeing their picture up and just knowing that Harriet Tubman freed the slaves. That we're going to go much deeper than that in these biographies.
So Tracy, why? And I'm sure you all had this conversation, but it's I know it's just would be your opinion, but why do you think Black women authors were left off of that list or ignored? Because you've got I'm a lover of biography, so I see a bunch of them there that I have not read yet and going to run out and get. But why were we or Black women authors like yourself, left off of these lists?
Now, I cannot know for sure.
Yeah.
on the intention. So it could be that the people in the room did not have them close to mind, or it could be a policy issue. It could be anything in between.
But they
But
did have two black male authors.
yes, they
Right.
did, right?
Uh-huh.
But there were
They,
no Black women authors. And so I can't know for sure.
mm-hmm.
But what I do know is they were missing. And when it's such a blatant omission, you tend to believe that it's intentional, but I don't know that. But what I
Right.
do know is that we had an opportunity to create our own list. And so essentially, I'm not even worried about why at the end of the day.
I hear you. Yeah, I hear you because one of the things my daddy used to say: if it is to be, it's up to me, and no one can save us for us but us. And you put that in your hands, and you go ahead and move forward on it. And so now we have this list of 25 that you all have come up with. I mean, what's going to happen next? I mean, this is we of course want to tell people where they can go and find the list, but what's going to happen next?
Well, it's very clear to me that what we wanted to do was to make sure that we can activate this list.
Okay.
So you can read the list, and activation can merely be to share it with a friend, to share it on social media, or it could be to create an entire event for the community around the list. We're looking for um, libraries to be involved, bookstores, um, book clubs, classrooms, teachers in their classrooms, because we want to see and imagine the different ways in which this list can come to life beyond just us giving a list. I
Right.
That is what I'm most excited about. There has already been so many people that have signed up to receive the toolkit, and this toolkit that we have has so many resources, so many ideas, down to how to structure an event, to various ideas, and it's really robust. So if you go to the website and you request to be an activation partner, you are going to have everything you need to do that.
Um, this I think has a long what they call shelf life, right? Because every day there are new authors writing more amazing stories about black women and their stories. These were mostly biographies, I believe. Correct?
Yes, they're all biographies.
Mhm. Okay.
There, I think biography is a great way to hone in on not just the subject, but what the subject was facing at that time, and who was her community, who
Hmm.
she was in relationship with, who she was in conversation with, um, what were the specific obstacles and odds that she was facing that were against her. And and you have someone who has gone through the archives, gone through, had, many times conducted interviews to really get at that information that a memoir or um, a fictional depiction might miss. And for example, Alexis Pauline Gumbs, who has done a great autobiography um, on Audre Lorde, she, in a comment, said how much she was appreciative of Valerie Boyd, who did the um, an autobiography. I'm sorry, a biography on Zora Neale Hurston. And she said that she was the first one who allowed her to believe that biography can be a spiritual practice. And so that, the way in which she writes her book, then allows and gives permission for someone else to write their book in a certain way and to fill in the whatever the gap has been since she wrote her book. So it is a continuous thing. Um, Absolutely.
I have recently received. It's not out yet, I don't think, but it's a book on um, the wife, the first wife of Frederick Douglass, Anna Murray Douglass, and it's titled, I think, the Revolutionary or something. And so it's not on the list yet because I don't think people had a
Yeah,
chance to see it. Or is it
yeah.
on?
there were a few that I'm excited about that they haven't been published yet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I thought about it and I said, we know so much about Frederick Douglass. We know so little about his first wife, who I think really inspired him to do a lot of the work that he did. And so there's so many stories out there. This is why I'm excited about what you all have pulled together, to one, not only encourage people to read these books, but encourage writers to write these stories.
That is true because
Hmm.
there were a lot of memoirs, and we may even do a list of memoirs soon or next. But we do want to encourage more biographies because sometimes there was a great biography, but it wasn't written by a Black woman.
Hmm.
And because that was the exact mission that we were um, trying to close, we did leave the list to by and about Black women.
Right.
So, but that is not to say that other biographies have not been written by others, and we want people to explore those as well. There can be different perspectives, but I think it's a very interesting and perspective to have it about a book about a Black woman, about another,
Right.
written by a Black woman.
It's interesting because we know we don't hear much about him, but we know that there are probably hundreds of book clubs in the
Yes.
DMV, and most of those book clubs are their club members are Black women. So I mean, what would you say to them about how they can create? And I know it's on your toolkit, but I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk to them about what
Yes.
they should do or can do.
Thanks for that. Thanks for this opportunity to do that because
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
calling out to book club organizers to include one of these books, one of these 25 books, as your reading choice in the next few months. That would be great. That would be wonderful. And you can also choose more than one. And I like to have the stories be in conversation with another. So we have included, activists, scientists, um, the list goes on of entrepreneurs, everybody, political leaders, have them in conversation with one another. How are they both dealing with the challenges from different perspectives,
Hmm.
in different ways. So that would be great. Book club, let's get it going.
Is there a place on the site which I would love to know? Let's say if individuals, decide based upon the recommendations to read one of the books on the list. Is there like a community conversation platform for folks to either review or I'm putting work on you all on Black Women Unerased uh, plate, but how do you kind of continue the conversation among people who are participating?
Well, we just had the formal lunch 2 days ago, and so I want to take a look at who has reached out and wanted the toolkit, so I
Okay.
can put perhaps those different categories of people or institutions in conversation with one another. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we'll have a Facebook group or anything like that, but we will be reporting back when people let us know what they've done, so that other people can get ideas. And once they see an organization or individual that has done something, they can reach out to them directly. Um, so we're definitely going to be spreading the word and showing what people are doing and how they're activating the list on our website and through our social media, so that people can get ideas and then find ways to meet up with one another and let us know about it.
Wonderful. It sounds exciting. It really does sound exciting. So I would just say one more time, give folks the place where they can go and find out more about Power Read 25 and also Unerased.
The main website for Unerased is uneраsedbws.com. And if you go there, it will lead you to the specific web page that is celebrating Power Read 25. But you can also just Google Power Read 25, and everything that has come out. We were on PBS yesterday, so
Oh,
you can
good.
go. Yeah, we're on. Well, am I supposed to mention other media?
It does. Yeah, yeah. Do it. Do it. No, that's fine.
And we're going to be just spreading the word in as many ways that we possibly can. And so I'm so pleased that you guys are our media partner and giving us this platform to continue to get the word out as it develops. So yes, please go to the Unerased Black Women Speak website and just look at the title, Unerased Black Women Speak. We were made for this. This is what we do 365. So there you go.
All right. Well, Tracy, I want to thank you so much for being with us today, for sharing this great news. I mean, it was a work of passionate work that you all just kind of came up with really quickly. And here we are. We've got a list and now we've got a toolkit. So this is exciting. And I want to thank you for sharing. And then, we'll get back together again and talk more about, what some of the outcomes have been. Can't wait
Okay,
to
that
hear.
sounds great. Thank you so much.
All righty. Tell Gwen we said hi.
I certainly will.
All
Bye-bye.
righty. Have a good one.
You too.
Yeah, so the Washington Informer, I should have mentioned, is a media partner and supporter of this initiative. And that's not necessarily the reason why we wanted to have them on. We just think it's a great news. And of course, we promote reading, and everybody who likes reading will have some great authors to enjoy. And so it kind of takes us to this theme of building bridges, right? This is what we want to do with our entire community. It just so happens that Scott Kratz, who is the president and chief executive officer, is head of an organization that actually carries that title, Building Bridges Across the River. Are you there, Scott?
I am. Hello, Denise. How are you? Happy Friday.
Oh,
What a
thank
great-
you. Thank
yeah.
you. Same to you. Same to you. And it's just so interesting, small world, because Tracy said that she was at an event that Building Bridges had sponsored just a month ago or something. How long ago was that?
She participated in a DAP project exhibition that was right here in our gallery. We had over 100 people here for the opening. It was phenomenal. So yeah, that's
Wonderful.
the place. We're a convener, bringing together people from across the community, but particularly here in the Great Ward 8.
Love it. Love it. So again, always love having you on Let's Talk to have a conversation with us. So give folks a brief sort of description or overview of Building Bridges Across the River.
Sure. So Building Bridges, the oldest, we have several different projects. Our oldest one is where I'm speaking to you from, which is the ARC, the Town Hall Education, Arts, and Recreation Campus. We're here on Mississippi Avenue. We have 15 nonprofit partners that are here for schools, Children's National Medical Center, Levine School of Music, with the simple goal of bringing together best-in-class nonprofits to better serve this community. At our size and scale, we're the largest collaboration of nonprofits of its kind in the country. But we didn't stop there. When we saw there was a need for food access, because of course there's only one full service grocery store here in Ward 8, the Giant up on Alabama Avenue, we started a network of 7 urban farms. We call Building Bridges Farms throughout Southeast DC. And we harvest all of that food. And every Friday, as a matter of fact, right now, we set up a giant farmers market here at the ARC, but we removed the barrier of cost. So all of the food is free. And last year we served about 4,000 families. We build bridges to employment at our Skyland Workforce Center that is physically not here. It's in Ward 7. And when we ran out of metaphors to building bridges, we are now literally building a bridge across the Anacostia River. In the next 2 weeks, we should solicit the general contractor for the 11th Street Bridge Park, where we're transforming an old freeway into a park over the Anacostia River that will be opening up in break ground later this year and open up in the first half of 2029.
Scott, I have to go off topic a little bit, because I remember when we first met, and I don't know how many years ago that was, but you
13 years ago or something.
Yeah, we were talking about this bridge. And while, the process is, taking place to get to the point where you'll be in a couple of weeks, all these other things have evolved and developed. I mean, even with you being down there at the ARC, and I don't know if this was your initial vision, when you first entered the community and started, talking about this bridge concept. Um, but it has evolved, and you have been a great partner for folks, particularly in Ward 8. I mean, what is driving you? What's your passion here that keeps you coming up with things to do?
Well, I mean, I'm a resident of Southeast DC, so I live just on the other side of the river. I'm at 9th and I Southeast. So this is my community too. And just to bring up that larger point, this is particularly with the Bridge Park and now everything we do, it's become so much more than a bridge, right? And I think it starts from listening to the community, right? It starts from, I passionately feel that the answers are in the community. We just need to listen, right? So when we're out there shaping, asking if we should do this park, what should be on the park, who the design team should be, we heard all these great ideas, but we also heard a much deeper need for jobs, for housing, for supporting Black-owned businesses east of the river. And so we launched 10 years ago, actually, this is our 10th anniversary, a series of economic strategies to make sure that these same tens of thousands of residents that shape this new civic space can be the ones that benefit from it, right? Mm-hmm. And aren't unintentionally pushed out. So, we've seen we've helped 221 Ward 8 renters become homeowners, capturing intergenerational wealth. We've stood up a community land trust. The Douglas Community Land Trust came from this effort. And we just graduated our 43rd construction training program. So we've placed over 500 residents into construction jobs already, and we haven't even broken ground yet. And what's exciting, the last thing I'll say about this is we're now advising about a dozen similar projects around the country about how do you invest in underinvested communities of color without displacing the same residents we're trying to serve. So we're working with projects in Baltimore and Philly and Detroit and St. Louis. And we're the nation's capital, right? I mean, we should be the place that, we can share lessons learned.
Yeah, and I'll just say, lastly, on this topic, I've been a resident of Ward 8 for many years. My stepmother served in the city council. I know that this neighborhood, and I call it a community, the neighborhood, some people, is characterized in more negative ways than positive ways. And while this community is organized in a lot of ways, it's tough to sell ideas. And you have been able to break through that. And maybe it's because you've been here. People come in with ideas and then they leave, right? But maybe it's been the roots that you've planted and helped to plant among other people who now live here and work here, and you've invested in, that has made you safe, if I could put it in no other way, safe to be and considered a friend and a partner. I don't know if you feel that.
Thank you, Denise.
When you came, did you like, how's this going to work? Here I am, this, young white guy. We're talking about building a bridge, and now here I am. I'm just a neighbor. Do you feel different?
I think there is a large and justifiable trust deficit east of the river. And just to put too fine a point on what you just said, here's this white guy coming over from Capitol Hill and you want to build a bridge? And I don't know. So, but I think it was, sometimes these projects start and they come in with the fancy renderings, or somebody throws out an idea and then never comes back, right? And the way that I have found about building trust is shared experiences over time and keeping your word, right? So I wasn't born here, but I've been a resident in DC for the last 21 years. DC is home for me, and I'm not going anywhere, right? And all of these ideas, these aren't Scott's ideas, these are the community's ideas that we're just helping to manifest, right? And then with that, I think we have collective ownership, right? And we can really make sure we see it through. And again, the ARC has been here for 21 years. We have a 99-year lease with the city, so we're not going anywhere. The Bridge Park, we have a 99-year agreement with the city. So, and we're going to be building bridges. We'll run the park when it opens in 2029. So we're here for the long haul.
Well, I could go on and on and on about the ARC and you. I mean, because I lived 18 blocks away, and some of the work that you all have done along Oxen Run Park, extends that far. So, but we are here to talk about the Back to School, Beyond the Stars Back to School Festival that's taking place on August the 23rd. Tell us about that.
Yeah, this is going back a minute, but I remember, that first day of school, right? You're feeling a little nervous. You got some butterflies in your stomach, and we want our kids we want the kids here in Ward 8 to be ready, to be proud, to be ready to learn, ready to make new friends, right? So we're trying to bring all of that, right? So this is one of our superpowers, I think, at Building Bridges, is we can bring together all of these other nonprofits, right? To make sure we're showing up and we're supporting the kids and families in many different ways. So how does that manifest on August 23rd? We are handing out, we learned a lesson last year. Last year, we handed out 750 backpacks and all the school supplies in 45 minutes, right? So, What happens if you throw a party and everybody comes, right? So this year, we have a goal of distributing 2,000 backpacks at least and all sorts of supplies. We're transforming the Boys and Girls Club that's here at the Arc into a giant hair salon, barbershop. So we're going to have 33 barbers on site doing haircuts, the hair braiding. We're handing out 700 new pairs of shoes. We're even going to have a vision truck that's here that can provide real time examination. And then get kids a pair of glasses, right? And then all of our partners here at the Arc, our 15 nonprofit partners, will be here handing out, doing arts and crafts, and we're even having an East of the River artist market that's going to be here. So local vendors from Ward 8 will be on site selling their wares. So it's going to be a ton of fun. 2 to 6 p.m. We're taking over the entire campus here at the Arc, and it's going to be a beautiful day.
I mean, it sounds really exciting. When you talk about the glasses, I think back to a friend of mine that I went to law school with, who told me that when she was a kid growing up in DC, they put her in special ed, sent her to a special ed school because she couldn't see. She couldn't see. Right. Once she needed extra strong glasses, no question. They were like really thick. But once she got them, she was able to kind of reemerge into so it just goes to show, what kids need. And families can't always do it all, right? And so this sounds like a fantastic event. The barbering, the haircuts,
hair braiding, they're doing nails, they're doing the whole 9 yards. So and I think that's what unites all of these different things we do, is remove barriers to build, a more economic, prosperous, right, successful, prosperous, joyful the city. So particularly here in Southeast DC.
One of the challenges that, a lot of the school systems are facing is school attendance and the whole issue of truancy. And so you're going to have, all these kids who are hopefully looking forward to that first day. I used to be excited about it. And then keeping them there. Is that anything that you all think about or kind of work around or assist schools with?
Yeah, well, of course, we have we have 3 schools that are here on campus, right? We have the Washington School for Girls and Bishop Parker School for Boys, a tuition-free private school. And then we also have Apple Tree Elementary is here. So we've got 104 little tiny ones that are charging around on our 3rd floor of the West Building. But this isn't just a single day moment and then see you next year, right? This is a 365-day a year commitment. So we have events throughout the year. As a matter of fact, tonight, we have a second weekend of our late night league. So we kicked off just last weekend our 5th season. So every Saturday night we have a safe place for boys from 8 p.m. until 11 p.m. And this year, just last weekend, we kicked off a girls league. So we've got a girls league on Friday night and a boys league on Saturday night. And the most amazing thing is not these kids just playing really hard and given a safe place to play, but we have about 150 community members coming out and cheering them on, right? So It's that kind of larger wraparound support that we need to make sure that our kids can really thrive and are going to school and getting the education that they deserve and getting the excellence that they deserve so we can continue to make this the best city in the country.
Well, I think about it, it's not only the bridge, but it's the bridge to the village that that looks after our community, that needs all the support that Building Bridges has been able to provide, and other organizations. How can people do? Can they just show up on the 23rd, or do they have to sign up, or what's the process?
They can just show up. If you go to buildingbridgesdc.org, you can find out more information. You just go to our events page. If folks are interested in helping, I have a long-standing philosophy that many hands make light work, right? So we've got tons of volunteer opportunities for folks who are so interested. But yeah, folks can just come in and join us from 2 to 6 p.m.
Fantastic. Well, did I miss anything? Anything else you want to share with us while I have you?
I might just share one last thing before I let you go. This is sort of breaking news, but like in the next 2 weeks, we should solicit our general contractor for the 11th Street Bridge Park.
Right.
So this is a really big deal. Did not think this would be 13 years of my life. But when you're transforming an old freeway over a navigable river wedged between the National Park Service and an active Department of Defense installation, it's complicated. But we're excited to take this next step and support the community just all year long through the Arc, through Skyland, through the Bridge Park, through our farms, all of that good work.
Well, eventually we'll get you back on, Scott, so that we can talk about that, and then help the community actually visualize what you've already presented, but what this bridge is going to look like, and what all the activations that will probably take place on that bridge as well. So would love to have you back to have a further conversation on that.
Love it.
All righty. Well,
to see you, Denise.
Likewise. See you on the 23rd.
Okay. See you soon.
All righty. Have a good one. Thanks. So yeah, this is going to be exciting, and that's why I brought it up to Scott, because one of the biggest problems that the school system is facing is truancy. Kids getting to school, staying in school, and doing well in school. And so participating in this program, and there are probably some other school giveaway programs as well. But, it's one of those things where we can't just come in today and think that it's all going to work. We've got to make sure that when we see these young people on the streets during the middle of the day, we inquire, are you, at least I do it, are you in school? Why aren't you in school? How's school going? Act like we care about their education, and do like the folks used to do long time ago when we didn't have access to schools, right? Everybody wanted their children to go to school, and so we have to build that kind of a community that supports that. And in order to do that, particularly old folks like myself, well, I shouldn't say that. That's not a great way to introduce my next guest. But I would just say that in order for us to get to the point where we can share those fond memories, many of us have to do things to kind of keep our bodies and our minds in shape. And that's a better way to introduce Sharon Goods, founder and CEO of Wisdom Walkers. And we're going to talk a little bit about what they do. Some amazing walkers in the DMV, but I think we have a short video that I want to share with you.
Camino eterno, terra que llama, paso a paso, luz que me guía. Peregrino, peregrino, vai yo mesmo se odino, peregrino, peregrino, somos lume no camino. Chove, canta o río, arde a estrela no destino. Na pedra queda pegada, somos un só caminho. Forzantiga no peito desperto.
Wow, Sharon, that is amazing, amazing. Now tell us, well, first of all, Sharon Goods, founder and CEO of Wisdom Walkers. I'm so glad to have you all with us today. And Rosalind, nice to have you as well.
Thank
You
you.
all just done some, I, I don't even know where to start. So tell us about the Wisdom Walkers, Sharon.
Thank you very much, Denise. Thanks for having us on. I'm so happy that my Wisdom Walker sister Rosalind Inge is able to join us from California. We are a nonprofit, and we work with individuals and people to encourage people to take care of themselves. I think our philosophy is that decline is a decision. So we ask people to, over 40 to begin taking care of yourself by walking. And we walk here in Washington, D.C. and the surrounding area every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 8 o'clock. We're out walking, 1 mile, 2 mile, 3 miles, 7, depending on how far you want to go. And so we meet every weekend, every Saturday morning. We're at Rock Creek Park at the trailhead. And whoever shows up, shows up. Over 300 people are now part of the Wisdom Walkers WhatsApp group. And so each week, the number changes and the faces may change, but we're trying to promote health, particularly we're trying to address healthcare disparity as it affects our community. And so we're trying to get more and more people who are over 40, particularly those people of color, to begin taking agency. You are in charge. You are the boss of the body, and you can do things to address how you will age in this world. So we try to inspire people with the things we do.
Sharon, tell me, and I'm going to ask for you two the same. I'm going to ask you the same thing, Rosalind. But tell me you've done PR most of the time that I've known you. I know you taught yoga. I came to your house one time and we did a story on laughing yoga. I know that health has always been a part of your life, but what inspired you to do something to bring people together around walking?
Well, as Rosalind can tell you, you meet different people when you're walking. And so really, I was walking in the hiking in the park one day and with a couple other Washingtonian women, and they said, it's nice that we're walking, but you ever thought about, climbing Mount Kilimanjaro? I said, oh, that sounds like a really interesting thing to do. And, that was 4 years ago, and we did, and so, and I put it out to the people that I knew in the business community and PR and other communities, and 25 people came on and said they'd like to do that. And I said, wow, this thing has legs to it. So many people have these things.
Speaking of legs, yeah.
Exactly. People are trying to take care of themselves. They really are. I think that once you hit 45, you say, you know what? I got to get busy here. And so people are really putting effort into it, and walking is like one of the best ways to do it. And so we started becoming what's called a destination fitness organization. We set a destination, and then we work with and encourage people to train for maybe 6 to 9 months to get ready for that destination. And that's kind of how we have evolved. Each year we go on a very large walk, and we raise funds. This year we're raising funds for the American Heart Association and the Association of Black Cardiologists. We kind of dedicate our walks to these agencies so that we can get people to pay attention to their health while raising funds and donating to research that can help with the diseases that disproportionately affect African Americans.
Amazing. And Rosalind, Sharon says you're coming to us from California. Is that where you live, or how did you get involved with the Wisdom Walkers?
Yes, I do actually live in California. So my sister-in-law walks with the Wisdom Walkers in Washington, D.C., but she always comes to California, and we always walk the hills and the beaches of California. And then Kilimanjaro is always been on my bucket list, but I joined the group after they did that. So then she said to me, well, we're going to do Machu Picchu. So I'm like, okay, that's on my bucket list. So then 2 years ago, I did Machu Picchu. And so I've come to DC when they did Harriet Tubman. I've done that one. So whenever they've done the destination walks, when I'm in DC, I come and I join them. And so I train on the West Coast, and I will send them a picture of, my accountability. I walked my 15 miles Saturday, and I send it to them to show that I'm training and that I'm ready for to whenever we're ready to do these destination walks.
And how, Sharon, I'm sorry, Rosalinda, how has walking, impacted your life? What has it done? What do you see as a result of the walks that you do?
Well, during COVID, I was determined. Everybody was like, everybody's going to gain weight during COVID. And I was like, no, 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 that's not going to happen. So during COVID, that was like the only thing. Like, there's lots of parks where I live, and so I teach school. So after school, after online school, I would just go walking like 3 and 4 hours every day. So I lost 30 pounds during COVID, and so that's all I did was walk. It was like, there was nothing else to do. I was like, it was out in nature and I could walk, I could be free. I didn't have to wear a mask. And so then when, after Machu Picchu, I was like, I lost another 40 pounds for this last walk we did, the El Camino. So it's been a journey, as I always tell, it's slow and steady wins the race. You don't have to be fast. You don't have to lose it quickly. It's a slow and steady pace to do it.
One of the wisdom walkers lost 130 pounds.
Wow.
Walking,
Wow.
just
Yeah.
walking. And
Yeah.
we take beginners, people who have never walked before or can only walk maybe a block or so. They join us, and we have a little group called the Fresh Start Group, and we go as far and at whatever pace they want to go. So we go as far as and slow as the youngest walker, the newest walker, should not say youngest, but the newest walker would like to go. And we want to try to get people to address these diseases that are affecting us as we go through the aging process. And 60% of African Americans have hypertension.
Right.
And 35 to 54% of them die, from that. So that's what caused us to get motivated to get people to begin to walk. And, some people don't want to do yoga. They don't want to lift weights. They don't want to do Pilates. But walking, I mean, everyone can do walking, even if it's just a little bit, a little bit helps. Each little bit adds up. So that's why we set these, we send out a survey and to find out where people would like to go. And lots of people are going to take vacation and holidays. And then we say, you know what? We're going to set that as our goal. And so if you will train with us for a year, we'll get you ready. We'll help you get ready to climb Mount Fuji as we did last July, to walk the El Camino as we just finished. The video you just showed.
Yeah, I was going to ask you where that was and about that experience, if you could share that a little bit with us.
The beginning of July. Yeah, the beginning of July, the Wisdom Walkers went to Spain, Portugal and Spain to walk the El Camino, which is a very famous trail. It's called the El Camino to Santiago de Compostela, which is St. James's Cathedral. And people come from around the world. 1 million people come every year to walk that trail from different countries. And there's many, many directions you can come from. We took the trail from Portugal and Spain to Santiago de Compostela in Spain. It was 80 miles. And so at the end of it, we got a certificate a certificate of completion showing that we have completed the walk. And as you go through these Spanish villages, you have to get your passport stamped to show that you have been walking each day. And so, each day we spend the night at a hotel, and the next day we get up and start walking again. So about 10 miles a day, we walked over the course of the 9 days that we were walking. It was very hot. It was very, very hot.
Yeah.
Hard.
And everybody made it.
Everybody made it. And we're committed to that. We have community. That's the other part about walking.
Right.
Community, with all the organizations that are walking groups in the world, join them, because being a community, you don't even notice that you've gone 5 miles now because you're busy talking and solving the world's problems. And so you don't know that, time has passed and distance has passed. And next thing you know, your body's healthy. So that's what's going on with the Wisdom Walkers.
So you all meet, and Rosalind does when she can get to the East Coast, but you all meet every Saturday and Sunday, you said, at Rock Creek
We
Park.
have chapters now, in different locations.
Oh, good. Okay.
We meet in Washington D.C. area. People come from Maryland and Virginia to walk with us, and so we meet in Rock Creek Park at Rock Creek Trailhead, over on Beast Drive, and we also sometimes go to the Crescent Trail. But we let the Wisdom Walkers pick where they like to go. Sometimes we're out in Maryland, walking, in White Oak and other places. We've climbed Old Rag. So we pick, let people pick where they like to go. We put a calendar out we get ready to put the calendar out today for the month of August and September. And, it's really whoever shows up, shows up. It's always 8 o'clock in the morning because people want to get the walking done.
Oh, yeah.
Go
Yeah.
at 8 o'clock. And also because of the heat, we don't want to be out at noon if we want to be back and home by that time. So we always leave at 8 o'clock and, we go out as far as people want to go. And we put the calendar out, and people show up and show out, when they come, and it's quite an experience because it's nice to see how people are dedicated. We do these destinations in international countries as well as things here in the United States.
Mhm.
We do an annual Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass walk down the Eastern Shore. We walk the Underground Railroad. We go every year to Selma, Alabama, for the Selma Jubilee, and the year before last, we took 65 Howard University students with us. So we try to encourage people. We try to do heritage walks to encourage young people to understand a little bit about our heritage while walking and exercising at the same time.
Is there anything that you require before people start walking with you? I noticed you said, the Wisdom Walkers are supporting the American Heart Association and the Black Cardiologists Association, but do they provide any support to the Wisdom Walkers as well?
Well, not in terms of requirements. There's not. We do require people when they're about to do one of our big walks that they have a medical clearance because some of our walks are physically challenging. It's challenging to climb Mount Fuji. We summited Mount Fuji, and we summited Mount Kilimanjaro. We summited the Andes Mountains, with Rosalinda and other people. There were 20 of us, 18 of us for that. We do require people to have a medical clearance for the big walks, but when we're raising money for these organizations, and American Heart Association, Association of Black Cardiologists will be our ongoing partners for several years. We don't require anything of them. We will be participating in the American Heart Association November 9th walk. There'll be a walk down the mall. The Wisdom Walkers will be there participating in that walk. And so our only requirement is that we make sure that the funds that we raise are going towards research and they're addressing the issues that affect our people.
Right. And how is this resonating, Rosalind, on the West Coast where you are? I mean, you're still walking, even though you're not here. But is there a chapter there? Has your group grown? What's happening on that side?
Well,
As they say, in your neck of the woods.
Well, I walk with another group on the West Coast, which is called the 510 Hikers, and their focus is mainly in Oakland, and they're more concerned with gun violence and drugs in the Oakland area. So
Mhm.
they raise a lot of money for that. So if I'm hiking on the West Coast, and theirs are just local hikes, but they're usually raising money for those activities. So they don't do too many international hikes. They're mostly local hikes.
Yeah. Okay.
But Denise, the Wisdom Walkers will join together. There's usually a big walk. I think it's the day after New Year's, in which all the hiking groups in the region come together. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, if the paper's aware of that, or the informers are aware of it. But we do need to make sure you're aware of it next time we do it. But we'll join together with. There'll be Goombay and Girl Trek and the Wisdom Walkers. All of the hiking groups will come together as one,
Yeah.
and we all do a big major hike every year.
Well, it's good that you gave a shout out to those groups because I'm sure
Yeah.
they're probably saying, "How come they getting the attention and I ain't?"
Yeah.
There's no competition. We just want people
Yeah.
to get help. We don't care what you're
Exactly.
doing.
And how did you come up with the name Wisdom Walkers? I know I've asked you this before, but
It came from really the members. We were talking when we first had we had one of our Zoom meetings to try to plan our trips, And we said, what should we call this? It's kind of unusual to have people in their 40s going out here climbing mountains. What would be a good name? And someone said Wisdom Walkers. I said, okay, that sounds like a good name. Let's do that. So that's kind of how it came up. But basically, because some of our adventures have been a little bit challenging, people say, oh, I don't know if I want to walk with the Wisdom Walkers. They climb Mount Kilimanjaro. No, we also just do walks around the block as well. We're
Yeah.
just trying to get people to move, Denise, because we're trying to provide agency. We want to encourage people and show possibility. You don't have to be 25 to walk. In fact, when we've taken some young adults with us, as Rosalind can tell you, some of the 35-year-olds did not make it to the top of the mountain, but all of the people over 50 did. I said, it's not about the muscles. It's really about the consistency. That's
Right.
that is everything.
Well,
Yeah.
it makes sense. I think about you. I mean, this isn't about me, but I haven't had a chance to join you, which I really am going to do. And I'm hoping that all the people that are watching will figure out one day, one Saturday or Sunday to come out and join you all. But when I do my little 2.5 around Anacostia Park, which is a beautiful, beautiful venue, especially this morning, the grass was cut, everything was really nice. But I think about the Wisdom Walkers and I'm like, I gotta go. So, one day you'll see me in one of those photographs, I hope. I keep promising.
Okay, we look forward to seeing you. We look forward to you joining. Our schedules on our website at www.wisdomwalkers.org. Everyone's welcome to join and come out.
Let me ask, does it cost anything?
No, there's no fee.
Okay.
We do have, because we're raising funds now for the American Heart Association and the Black Cardiologists, we do have a website for the fundraiser, which is https:// givebutter.com Wisdom Walkers Healthy Heart. And I apologize to your team for not sending that out in the paragraph beforehand, but we do have it on our website as well. We're trying to raise funds for the American Heart Association. There's no reason for us to have this level of hypertension in our community.
Exactly.
Life is stressful, but you can walk it out.
Right.
Everyone has challenges in their lives, and so we're trying to walk it out.
Yeah, well, that's good. I'm glad to have you on. This is, we do our annual quarterly health supplement actually, we're doing it this month. And so we're going to make sure, if it's not this one, the next one, that we include the Wisdom Walkers in that. And, we're all trying to do the same thing, build a healthy, build while we're building bridges. We got to be able to cross those bridges. So building healthy communities and with those who can walk and can enjoy the opportunity. So thanks so very much for being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. All right. And we will see you soon.
Okay. See you soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Take care.
Thank you. So I want to say thank you for the viewers for joining us for another edition of Let's Talk. I hope you got something out of this today. You got books to read. You got a way to support young people that are going back to school. Come and volunteer with Building Bridges on August the 23rd for their back to school event, or on Saturday or Sunday morning, just go online and go on over to Rockaway Park or wherever the Wisdom Walkers are going to be, and just enjoy walking. Now, I did not ask, because most of those Wisdom Walkers are women, but I'm sure if they're guys that want to participate, the door is open. We all can walk, as most of us can walk, I should say. So as we again head into August, observing National Wellness Month, National Black Business Month, National Night Out, and prepare for a new school year, I hope you find a way to invest in yourself, your family, and your community. So as I said, read a new book, support a neighborhood event, take a walk, volunteer, encourage a young person. Small actions taken consistently can lead to extraordinary results. So don't forget to pick up a copy of this week's edition of the Washington Informer at a newsstand near you, or visit us at WashingtonInformer.com to read the digital edition and subscribe so you never miss the stories that matter most. And before I go, I hope you'll join us this Saturday again at the Black Books Matter Fest at Mahogany Books National Harbor, location at from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Stop by the Informer tent, say hello, and if you bring a child with you, have them tell us what they've been reading this summer. Also, I want to know what you've been reading as well. We'd love to meet you. Until next time, this is Denise Rollard Barnes. Thank you for watching Let's Talk. Stay informed, stay engaged, and please stay well.
Where do you